Bingo.
The new Daleks. Oh, that was a moment for me.
A really noticeably different and more frightening Dalek.
Behold the restoration of the Daleks!
They've improved, they're stronger, they're more powerful, they're more brilliant, they're more ferocious.
You're on your own now. We won't save you. Your rescue squad is too exhausted.
Bigger, more colourful, brighter and more frightening than you've ever seen them before.
Big buggers, bigger than they've ever been.
And if you complain once more, you'll be done. I'm lovely.
They're Daleks, aren't they? They're just such icons.
When I was young and watching Doctor Who, when I was old and watching Doctor Who, I would be quite impatient for the Daleks to show up. Especially with the new Doctor. I always think, oh, they're not really the Doctor until they defeated the Daleks. I was quite determined that Matt would face the Daleks early in his run.
Our new secret weapon! Ha! What do you think? Quite something, eh?
What are you doing here?
Well, when I first read the script and I read the scene where these new, big, shiny, bright-coloured Daleks appear, I thought, well, we probably won't do that. We'll just use the old ones. But no! Absolutely, yes, we have 5 brand new Uber Daleks, I call them.
And we were looking at different things that you could do with the Dalek, things that hadn't been done before, and we wanted more of them.
The most amount of Daleks anybody's ever had in one room.
The generator is activated. It begins.
Cut there. Our very, very clever location manager managed to find a fantastic location for the Dalek starship.
This is the Dalek spaceship. It's actually a humidor room in a cigar factory, of all places.
Stainless steel floor, stainless steel walls, stainless steel ceiling, very low, just big enough to get a big Dalek in there.
It got to, I think, about 37 degrees in the actual factory. It was mad with all the lights and stuff.
Wait, I wouldn't if I were you. TARDIS self-destruct, and you know what that means. My ship goes, you all go with it.
And this is their crippled, dying Dalek spaceship, where the last 3 Daleks who survived Davros and the reality bomb have arrived back in 1940.
The progenitor is activated. It begins.
The last of the Daleks are trying to find their purest form, which is in this thing called a progenitor. And they've sent out thousands through space, thousands of years ago, and they've found one. So it's their last throw of the dice, really. What I love about this, apart from the stainless steel, on camera it looks incredible, and you get these reflections which make it look like it's vaulted. But I love the fact it's actually got this very low ceiling. And one of the things I wanted to have in this, actually eventually became impractical because of the size of these, was to have those sort of very low Dalek doors. So it's definitely not built for people.
I'd hate to say that we're method actors, but once you've been inside a Dalek for 2 hours without having the head off, you do want to exterminate the rest of humanity.
One of the most tricky things ever to handle in Doctor Who is, of course, you want everything to be brand new to the companion. So they say, oh my God, Daleks. And one of the problems we've got in Doctor Who at the moment is that the Earth has now been invaded so repeatedly by Daleks, they should be yawning and stretching when they see them.
Amy, tell him.
Tell him what?
About the Daleks.
What would I know about the Daleks?
Everything. They invaded your world, remember? Planets in the sky. You don't forget that. Amy, tell me you remember the Daleks.
No, sorry.
She doesn't recognise the Daleks, and the Doctor is thinking, how can she not? How can she not remember that happened? It'll take you a long time to find out what's going on.
Do you know what? When I first saw the Daleks, it was insane. I mean, they're such an iconic thing for Doctor Who, and everyone knows what a Dalek is. And then to actually be standing there and looking at one, I was just like, oh my God, I just need to take a moment and take this in. It was really, really strange. And then to meet the guy who actually is inside of the Daleks and moves the Daleks around and stuff, it was really cool. It was a cool moment. Very Doctor Who moment.
All the guys in Daleks, which are just powered by these lovely men that sort of rock around like they're on a baby grow or something. They're the most evil monster in the world.
Occasionally, if we're doing a particularly evil bit where we're threatening the Doctor with extermination or something, sitting inside our Daleks, we actually find ourselves pulling sort of evil faces or something, and we suddenly kind of confess this all to each other, and that's really stupid, isn't it? But we do. So, yeah, we're either method actors or we're completely potty. I'm not quite sure which.
The Daleks actually have changed quite a lot over the years. If you put them all next to each other, you suddenly realise it's not all the same design. This one's quite a big redesign.
Stephen said that he wanted to recreate, as most writers do, they want to recreate their version of the Daleks. It was great, and he had some very strong ideas.
He took me to the pub across the road for lunch, and he just said in hushed tones, "What do you think about Churchill versus the Daleks?" I said, "I'd watch it."
They're called Daleks. They are Bracewell's Ironsides, Doctor. Look, blueprints, statistics, field tests, photographs. He invented them.
Invented them? Oh, no.
One of the influences always on Doctor Who for me, I'm afraid, and people will burn me as a heretic, I always really, really liked those Peter Cushing movies. I liked the exterior TARDIS in them, and I loved their big, bold, colourful Daleks.
This new design, which Ed Thomas and his team came up with, is sort of a combination of thoughts of making them very imposing and kind of colourful.
Most of the things are still there. The suckers there, the eye stalks there, the small sort of the roundels are there, the little round bombs on the sides are there. So it's much the same. This one has got a lot more ability, has a lot more capability from a weapons point of view. You'll see down the back of the Dalek, there's a series of flaps, and basically each one of those comes out, and you can see around the top of the body that the laser gun can disappear and a new weapon can come out. So we'll see that happening in the future.
And it's almost like, I don't know, Van Gogh's picked it up and gone, that looks amazing anywhere. Boom, because it's such a brilliant piece of design.
My favourite ones really are always the ones from the Dalek films because of their sheer scale and their sort of technicolor quality.
And I always rather wish they had the big, bold, colourful Daleks in Doctor Who itself. And now we do.
For me, the whole thrill of this was sort of going back to a sort of power of the Daleks idea of making them very sly and cunning and silent often.
In the story Power of the Daleks, which is a lost story, one of the stories that was wiped from the BBC archives, there's a soundtrack still exists from it, and on that soundtrack you would hear the Daleks say,
I am your servant.
And Mark, being the Doctor Who fan he is, wrote in the line this time, I am your soldier, as a direct, a knowing wink to all the fans out there who remember that episode.
I've asked Nick Briggs, who of course knows his stuff better than anyone, to just linger for a second on the first S, just in case people might think it's going to say it again.
I am your soldier.
What?
I am your soldier.
Stop this. You stop it now.
There's a bit, again, from the second Dalek film, which has stayed with me since childhood, when Philip Maddock, who's betrayed the Doctor, comes running out of a hut, and there's a great ring of huge Daleks, and he sort of says, well, I'm your friend, I helped you, and they just stare at him, don't do a thing.
And it was a very, very sinister, I remember watching that, and it's a very, very sinister idea, because the Dalek is in the room, the Dalek has its gun there, and you're thinking, well, it's going to do something soon, isn't it? But it's just wandering around, waiting to do something evil. And I always think waiting to do something evil is the best look for any Doctor Who monster.
I love it. It's exciting. It's sort of what it's about, Doctor Who, I think. Every monster gets a little better every time.
I know, back in the days when I was on the internet forums, I know of lots of Doctor Who fans saying, oh, why are they using the Daleks again? It's tedious. It's 2 years since the kids have seen the Daleks, and they'll be delighted to see them back. And so will the fans, secretly. They'll pretend they're a bit bored, but they'll go home and get their little action figures out. I know I have.